Welcome back to CFB Nation. I am your host, Dino Brown. And of course, I got the governor of college football with me, filling in for Dino. How are we doing tonight, KT?
I'm feeling fantastic, man. Week 0 is here. Like we're about to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a bunch of awesome, days of college football, especially when we get to Con USA when they have their weekday games and MAC have weekday games, and including the NFL, we get like a stretch typically of about 21 and 28 days with football every day. So I'm excited
Action.
about that.
Action is yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Action comes. The
yeah.
football doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It, uh, it came quick, very
It
fast.
it it did, but I guess when you don't operate in that all season and you're chopping at the bit and you're staying current and putting out a bunch of content like we always do, it's it it it, it does
Yeah,
it leaves too, but
it just seemed this year there was a lot of news every week. There was kind of something that was
yeah.
so you kind of get lost in like, oh, I remember I was posting. I'm like, oh, there's 80 something days of football, to college football, and then
hmm
yeah, I just posted 13 days into Boston college football. It's crazy.
hmm
Just you blink, and all of a
you've
sudden,
done a great job with that series as well.
I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And besides, trying
hmm
to get the people out there, let them know
hmm
that college is gonna be something. It's been a long time since it's been something. I think people are gonna
Right.
be surprised this year what they're gonna be. But this is Devy Darlings, and I think this gentleman, I think he's gonna. And if it's not this year, I definitely think it's next year for him. James Joyner Jr. He got a lot of juice to him. 6 foot 210 out of Parkview Magnet High School, Little Rock, Arkansas. He's a 3-star. He was a top 50 running back in the 2022 class. Two-way player, played in the secondary and also obviously running back. Now at Parkview, poor guy started out rough. Sophomore year, missed most of his sophomore year due to an ACL injury. Running back early on in his career with ACL injury, a big hurdle to get over, but obviously did. Junior year, 162 attempts, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, and started to show the receiving capabilities at 8 receptions for 135 yards. Then his senior year, 183 attempts, 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 34 yards. You know, you see, he didn't have as much on the receiving end as you would like, but he flashed it a little bit. But this kid's got a lot of good things that you see on film that it's like, all right, when given his opportunity, this kid is going to skyrocket. Now, fast, Kitty. Speed, it's there. One cut and go. It's just like he's shifty. You know what I'm saying? Like he can make you miss. I don't want to do the cliche in a phone book, but in a small amount of space, this guy can make you miss. And now, boom, yeah, you're looking at the back of his jersey. What are your thoughts on him a little bit before we continue?
I like this kid. When I was looking at his highlights, it was interesting. He had a couple runs where it just looked like 3 hours in a cloud of dust, and then you just
Yeah.
see him pop out.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And he takes it to the house. So I think he has sneaky speed. I think people are probably more surprised by his speed because of his physique. But yeah, he had a couple runs, and back in the day, we used to say this. It's not really a term that people use anymore, but he runs to daylight. That's the type of runner he is. Like he's looking to get to the end zone. He don't care how he do it. That's the type
Right.
of runner that James Joyner is. So that's a lot of what I seen from him. That just look like he'll make something out of nothing. It's crazy some of the runs that he was making in high school.
I like to run,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
Forrest.
right, right,
I
right.
just like to run. You know what I mean? And he does a hell of a job at. Like I said, he showed the receiving capability towards the latter half of high school. You mentioned he just finds a way, right? The daylight,
Mhm.
whether it's inside or out, he doesn't. He's not necessarily gap zone or gap scheme running
Mhm.
back. He doesn't necessarily have to cut to the edge to gain success. He can run anywhere on the field. If he gets to the outside, most likely you ain't catching him. But
Mhm.
the 3 yards of the college, he's compact. He gets into like this small bunch of people, and then all of a sudden he's able to make that one shifty cut move to get him out of it. Well, by that time he's already got some space and he can keep going. You mentioned a little bit about the physique and stuff. It's funny you mentioned it because the guy, one of my player comps, kind of fits what you had
Mhm.
mentioned a little bit earlier. So we'll get
Mhm.
back to that. But he's got great vision. Like you said, he's an athlete. He eats up a lot of yards, like
He does.
chunks, and you don't even really realize it. And he's not really that easy to tackle.
Mhm.
Just over 200 pounds. 6 foot. Like I said, compact, bounce off tackles, kind of like a pinball. I like the kid. He had a 25 plus offers, Arkansas, Missouri, Liberty, Boston College, Florida State, Virginia Tech, more. He ultimately committed to Arkansas, was there for a year, and then transferred over to Liberty last season. Arkansas only had 3 attempts tonight. You know, that running back room was a mess behind Rocky Raheem. Had Isaiah,
Mhm.
and then another gentleman that was there. Both of those gentlemen transferred out. Raheem transferred out. So you know, he was deep behind 4 and 5 star guys. The chance for him to get in was slim. Again, originally had 3 attempts. Liberty last year, behind Cooley and Billy Simpson, they were stacked back. This kid managed to get himself some attempts here. 43 attempts, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged almost 6 yards per carry, and he had 1 reception for 7 yards. Okay. I know this is gonna. We all know it's Cooley's backfield,
For sure. As well as Caden Salter, because he's gonna eat up carries as well.
right? But in the scheme of this
Hmm.
Chadwell's scheme is this aggressive, spread them out offense, dual running back system,
For sure.
global QB. So we're going to be seeing rotation. Obviously, the kid got 43 attempts last year. You would think he's going to get more. When you talk about like the running backs coach, they love this kid. They love that he just what they say is stacking good practices every practice. Like he's not just like getting better and then kind of just being complacent. He's getting better every day since he's been there last season. That's all you hear about him. Sims, right? Senior. Cooley, senior. Outside of that, I know they love Vaughn Bloom. Okay,
Mhm.
they love him. He's the guy that was highly recruited to the school. They also have a freshman. I'm drawing a blank. Caden Williams, who's
Mhm.
also there, who rushed 1,100 yards and 17 total touchdowns last season in high school. So like, there are some guys there. I think Vaughn Blue may be the RBA, say, right? Maybe going into next season after these two gentlemen move on. But I don't think you could just rule out that James Joyner might be the B, or if not, vice versa, where his style of run, the compact build, kind of like Cooley a little bit. I think he's got a little bit more speed than Cooley does. I think Cooley's more of a yak guy.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? But Cooley's got that receiving capability as well. It's Sims and Cooley. I mean, Sims had 500 plus yards last year, so he's obviously going to be, the 1-2 for him. Like I said, he got 43 attempts. If he gets somewhere around 65, 70 attempts this year, you're going to see some growth. You're seeing some progression. You would like to see that towards the end of the year. Who's going to take that jump? Is it going to be Blue, or could Blue be the receiving end of it? You know what I mean? And Joyner be the workhorse here. I think there's opportunity. I think, like I said, in this scheme, they like to spread them out. They like the two running back sets. You have the quarterback. You get the RPO style. I think he fits the scheme well. I think it was a great transfer out of Arkansas coming over to Liberty last
Oh
year.
yeah.
And I think that the opportunity is about to open up. Like I said, if it's not this year, it's definitely next season. Barring someone coming in from the portal. But I think they've been doing their thing. I think this kid's going to be something. You mentioned the physique, the speed, and I know that he was an absolute stud.
Hmm.
But Chuba Hubbard, Oklahoma State, like you see what he's doing at the NFL. I know he had that 1 year, his sophomore year, was just an absolute machine. 2,000 yards, 330 attempts. He had 21 touchdowns. Speed, kind of not really like you said. You don't see it, but the speed, all of a sudden, this guy's pulling away from you, right? Has
Right.
that kind of that compact physique, right? Has the receiving capability. Another guy that I think, I know he went in the first round, but he didn't really pan out to that first round draft pick at the NFL level.
Hmm.
Michael Bennett.
Wow.
You
I
know,
haven't heard that name in a while.
he was a guy, speedy. He was just, I think it was like 205, 210, maybe right around that thing. Kind of a slimmer build because he was maybe a little tall. But he's speed. He was compact. He could get in and out. He had like that Fred Taylor type ride, but he had a little more speed than Fred
Oh
Taylor
yeah.
did.
Oh, he
You know
has
what I
some
mean?
wheels.
So this kid has. I'm telling you, I don't know how to describe the speed. You would think we don't have anything verified, so I can't tell you
Right.
what he's running. But like
Mhm.
I see on when the kid's pulling down the sideline, nobody's getting closer to him. He's getting
Right.
pulling farther away. So he has that taken away speed, that home run call. This combination of maybe the two of those guys' games. This is what I see him, and like I said, I think the opportunity in the Chadwell's scheme. It's just Liberty. If Salt to have one more year after this year of eligibility,
I
because
believe
I
he.
know the Tennessee situation was kind of weird.
Yeah, he has one more year eligibility, but if he's smart, he's leaving this year.
You think so?
I think so. I think he will leave for a multitude of reasons. One, and it was one of the points that I was going to get to about James Joyner Jr. Jamie Chadwell should be getting a P4 job next season. Like at the end of this season, he should definitely be getting one. He should be one of the
Consideration
coaches
for
that
sure.
we're talking about, especially if Liberty is able to win Con USA again. He
And
should definitely be
yeah,
consideration and then possible a playoff berth.
right.
Just depending on how everything works out.
All the stars align.
Right. So now it's okay. Where's it going to go? Is Caden Salter tied to Jamie Chadwell? Is James Joyner Jr. tied to Jamie Chadwell? Does Chadwell stay put? Because not only has he done a great job in Lynchburg, he also did a great job down at Coastal Carolina. So
Right.
he's put the work in. Like it's
absolutely.
P5 should be. I'm sorry, P5 is stuck in my head. P4 should be knocking on his door. So I just want to know, like, are these players tied to him? Like, and we just seen it with Signetti last year. You know what I'm saying? This past off season, he's in Indiana. We see what he's doing in Indiana right now. Jordan McLeod, I was thinking maybe he's tied to him, but Jordan McLeod is at Texas State now. So I don't know. I think that's the interesting thing about Liberty is like, will they strike gold again? Because they had Hugh Freeze, then they got Jamie Chadwell. Right. Who will be the next guy in line to go there? Because it seems like almost like a bridge type of program at this point. Like you go there, win, go get the job that you really want.
So I agree with you. I know we'll get back to Joyner in a second because, let's just the wide receivers here. All right, like Julian Gray, Elijah Cannon, and Travion Sibley. Those aren't names that just jump off the screen to me as like absolute threats. I know that they have Mobley coming in from Coastal Carolina, so he's good, absolutely super familiar with the Chadwell scheme. I think this could be a heavy run, RPO type offense early until things get going.
And that's what they were last year. Honestly, a lot. He, of course, Caden Salter definitely threw the ball, but I was at like 3 or 4 Liberty games last year. I'll be probably at about five or 6 this year because I've already got my season credential there. But yeah, I would have to agree with you, especially with the 3-headed monster that they have at running back. All 3 of them, opportunity knocks. They all took advantage of their opportunity. So including Joyner. So. And like you said, Jordan carries should at least go up. You would think about 15, 25 carries at least, right?
So we'll have to see. Like I said, those are my comps. What do you think about the comps?
I love the Chuba Hubbard comp. I think that's an excellent comp. Of course, we're looking at a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at opportunities a few times. The carries that he got last season by what a normal running back will get. He would have put up good stats last year. So
6 yards per carry. If you span that over a 12 game,
right. And it really goes back to a discussion that Jalen and I have all the time. It's like, heading out of high school, I think people don't view playing time enough. I think they think about the cloud. They think about, signing a national letter of intent, going to a bigger school. Sometimes you may be better off going to a school where you can push for snaps immediately versus, you're in a crowded, backfield like he was at Arkansas. Arkansas was just a mess. They also had a crowded quarterback room at one point as well. So
they had a crowded everything at one point, and now they have, that's not lack of a better kind of scraps. When you want to get guys that haven't played, ball in a long time,
for sure. So,
but yeah, the scheme, his talent, the speed that's there. Maybe he can, and even this year, like I said, the wide receiver room isn't the great. Maybe he gets some slot work, or some screens here and there, and he starts, to cook. So I just think what he has for talent that we've seen. What I've seen in the high school film, what I've seen in the small game against UTEP. We had a pretty good game last season against UTEP. It was 39 or 40-yard run for a touchdown. So he got the juice, like I said, and he's got the wiggle to him. Trevor Hubbard was a dominant dude at Oklahoma State. At the next level, he may not be an RB1. Who knows? He could be RB1 this year for Carolina,
right?
Even until Jonathan Brooks becomes good. But you mentioned, sitting behind, crowded backfield. In college football, it really only takes 1 year as a running back, as of lately, to flash, right? To show that you can be the guy. So if it's not this year, I said for China, next year could be the year. Or maybe it could be somewhere else if he tends to follow Chadwell. I don't know if Chadwell goes anywhere if they don't make the playoff.
That's a great take.
If they're not the the G5 school that makes it. I don't know if he leaves. I think he's winning, but just like anywhere else, all right. You put a stamp on it. Now it'll get you to the next level. So, but look out for James Jones Jr. I think this kid is going to be something special. I think the best move he ever did was leaving Arkansas because I think this scheme fits him to a T. I'm Nino Brown. That's the governor of college football, Leverett KT. This is Devy Darlings on the CFB Nation, and we out.